Hello, hi, it's Sharon here, and I'm making a video about the mushroom essences which I've been co-creating here in southwest France. I just thought it would be a little bit more interesting and a bit less time consuming to make a video rather than write it all out. I will write it out as well, but just to kind of give you the overview, I thought that'd be quite handy. Okay, so a little bit about myself. I am a nature-based practitioner. I work with flower remedies, as in the Bach flower remedies, Alaskan flower remedies from all over the world. And I have a range of my own called EarthSong Essences, because the earth is singing, and we're not always listening. Anyway, but that's my backdrop. So that's kind of the work that I do. Now, I make flower essences primarily. Now, in October 21st, 22nd, 2019, I was basically given a very big nudge to make a mushroom essence. Now, I've never made a mushroom essence before. I have taken mushroom essences in the past, never made one. So it's all opened up a big door for me. And I'm on a bit of a learning curve to discover more about the mushrooms, etc. And Paul Stamets has been, somebody who I felt very connected to straight off to learn about mushrooms from. So very grateful for that. So basically, just to kind of give you the difference, when a flower essence is made, that's something I'm really familiar with as a process. Very often, an essence is made quite quickly. I'll get a lot of information about what its properties are for. I might often hear a song. That's one of the reasons my range called EarthSong. Now, when the mushroom essence was being made, it's been a completely different process. It's completely blown my mind, really, because it's a completely different level of plant intelligence, of consciousness. And it took quite a few days for it to be made, huge amount of information, very ancient wisdom, and 9 songs came through, like 9, it's just quite hysterical, really. The first 2 were very much about the mycelium network, and I'll give you the playlist to go with this. But basically, the first 2 was about, one was called Motorbike-In, the 70s song, and the phrase that dropped in was going down the Queen's Highway, moving like a streak of lightning. And I just had this image of like the mycelium network, what I now know as the mycelium network. And then the second song that came in shortly after that was Born to be Wild, which I thought at the time was about connecting us to our wild nature. But since I once have watched the video of it, there were motorbikes, aren't they? So there's a bit of a motorbike theme happening, and I think that's to do with transportation and of information down the network. Anyway, I digress. So the properties of the essence as they have been sort of downloaded to me, for want of a better word, are very much about light and dark, very much about reciprocity, helping us to be connected to the light while in utter darkness, feeling very comfortable in the dark, like not afraid of the dark, as in the dark, physically the dark. I mean, I've kind of jumped around a bit here, but basically the essence was made mostly in the dark. I had to get up before dawn for it to be made, and I'll get onto the reasons for that, why I think that happened in a little bit. But basically, it's about being comfortable in the dark, not just the physical dark, but our own inner darkness. Helps us to embrace our shadow, not be afraid. Also helps us to access nature intelligence. There was a lot of reverence as this essence was being made. I cried a lot. I mean, a lot. It was quite a profound experience. A lot of trust, surrender, reverence for nature. And also, it's about explaining its relationship with light and dark. As I mentioned, it's all light and it's all dark. Now, I work with mistletoe essence, which is all very much about light. This seems to work with the dark. So the two, I'm actually taking them together at the moment, as in mistletoe I take in the daylight and mushroom I take in the nighttime. It kind of helps us to have deep acceptance, like really positive deep acceptance, and also helps us to connect more deeply with nature. So for anybody that's disconnected from nature, which is pretty much most people walking around the planet at the moment, mushroom essence, it just brings you, mainlines you back into nature, because it's just got this extraordinary powerful presence to it, which drops you down into nature. You don't have to think about it, you don't have to try. It just happens, you know. It particularly does that through the light, natural light rhythms. It seems to reset our circadian rhythm. It helps us to be more in tune with light and dark. So for people that spend a lot of time under artificial light, which is pretty much me at the moment, and most people in the northern hemisphere, there's a real disconnect from nature through being under artificial light a lot of the time, and the mushroom essence can help to reset that. A lot of people taking it are finding they're getting a lot of sleep. They're getting a lot of sleep and they're getting a lot of energy. And it's just, I feel, just simply through just resetting that. When the essence was being made and dawn came up, I actually felt a thud in my pineal gland. It felt like somebody reset the thermometer. Other properties, it's very much about helps us to connect with the ancestors, like dialing up the ancestors. And also, yeah, this light network, travelling underground through a light network, like the original fibre optic. And it was just, I had a realisation of why we shouldn't have 5G. We need to connect to this existing network as it already exists in nature, not go and create something offline, that's going to fry us all completely. So anyway, so for people who are going to be affected by that, mushroom essence is going to be a very important essence for them. It's also very hydrating to the brain. What else? Oh yeah, it told me it described itself as like an old boy. It's seen it all, and gave me a little reference to the Preseli bluestone, which is the blue stones which are inside Stonehenge. Geologically they're quite interesting because they represent all the geological time zones of the planet are represented in the Preseli bluestone. So there's a similarity there with the mushrooms. Told me how old they were, and as I've discovered since researching more, what's known about mushrooms, they are very ancient indeed. This conscious superhighway. What else? Oh yeah, very much about breaking down toxins, breaking down toxicity in the system. Helping us to face our fears, like our primal fears, like our fear of not mattering, like your biggest existential crisis ever. It's like mushroom just holds you in that. Yes, so very good for helping like soul retrieval, when there has been a lot of trauma, very much on that level. And what else? Intracellular communication, help us to communicate with parts of ourselves that have split off, soul retrieval, trauma, disassociation, helps us to bring it all back. So very much that communication with ourselves, but also communication with others over a long distance. What else wants to be said about it? Connect to the light levels that they exist on the planet, deep time, wean ourselves off artificial light, helps us to, encourage the light receptors in our skin, see in the dark, help us literally to see in the dark. And it's almost like this time in humanity, it's a very dark time. So the mushroom essence, and it's a parasol mushroom, this particular essence helps us to see in the dark. Also, take it with mistletoe. I've said that, light and dark. I take mistletoe in the daylight, mushroom at night time. One of the reasons we don't live our soul purpose is because we're physically tired, so it can help with that. The mushrooms will help us very physically, and also I know anybody that takes medicinal mushrooms physically can benefit from taking this essence. It kind of supports. All essences do, but this is quite an interesting one. I'm actually taking, it told me I had to start taking medicinal mushrooms. I'm taking lion's mane. Although I forgot to bring it with me, which is a bit interesting, but anyway. What else? So basically, that's mostly, and as I just called it mushroom essence because I didn't know what type it was. No physical part of the plant was made. It's just the bowl was kept in relationship with the plant, with the mushroom, and the energy, the wisdom, the consciousness, the soul, whatever we want to describe that as, goes into the water, and the water is then preserved, and it's like a memory stick. That's the best way to describe it. It's like a memory stick. So or a photograph. It's like the energy is captured and then sent around through water. So that's kind of the most about the mushroom. Now, as I said, it's quite a big essence, took a long time to be made. It's also acting like a door key, opening a door to other essences, mushroom essences. And it's, I think I said, did I say it's parasol mushroom? And I'll send you some photographs of it. So that's mushroom, as in just calling it mushroom. At the moment, I've just made a new essence from reishi mushroom, from a very similar part on the same property, quite near to it, in a little bit of wood, on the edge of the woodland. There's these huge reishi mushrooms. I didn't know what they were, but until I had them identified within the group. And the reishi mushroom essence has been bottled, and it's got very different properties, very much to do with working with the heart. Oh yeah, it's to do with the death of all, which is not love. That's the message from the reishi mushroom. So it raises the vibration of the heart chakra. It kind of is like bulletproof. It bulletproofs our immune systems. The coronavirus is going on at the moment, and it seems to be. It just told me that it can help. You know, it can. And basically, anything that raises your heart energy is going to help you overcome viruses. Grandfather energy, uncorrupted male energy. I can lead you to the other mushrooms. The mushroom trail. It's like a land protector. Stands guard on the immune system. This is the reishi mushroom essence. Stands guard on the immune system. And then there's another mushroom essence near to it, which I haven't identified. It's some sort of polypore. It could be a foot fungus or a bracket fungus. I don't know yet what it is. I haven't been given its human name yet. But this one's it's about trust, about helping us to be trusting and not give up hope, even when things seem absolutely grim as grim can be.